everybody. I'm like most of you in lockdown here in Sydney, and I decided I was going to do something different with my time. Yes, the Olympics is on, but I also happen to have the AU Boss parked here. So there's a few things that have been irritating me a bit about the Falcon. One of the things is the bonnet won't shut properly. So I thought I'm going to see what we can do to get the bonnet so it sits down flat. Something we never sorted out. We've got some time. And there's some other odds and sods we might do as well. So, yeah, I thought I'd just share it with you as I go. So you'll see, for those who don't know, this isn't any ordinary AU. Yes, it is an AU. It does have the Boss 260 in it. And we do have the bulged bonnet as well. But because it was a fiberglass mould, this is a lot thicker than the normal BA bonnet. And you can see here, and here, they actually rub. So the way we were getting around a lot of it, and also here is rubbing in here. And I just took a little bit more fiberglass out of there. We might have to do some more cutting. We might actually have to cut a section out of here tidily to see if we can get it to sit down. So we actually have spaces in the back of the bonnet because it doesn't sit down properly. So we're gonna have a play with that. So the first thing I'm doing here is I'm taking these bolts out. So you'll see we put a spacer in there. So I'm gonna take those out, pull these spacers out and bolt them back in. Hopefully the bolts won't be too long. We'll try it very carefully, but the idea will be take those out and then we can see where things sit on the bonnet. So these bolts are too long, but I don't want to cut them yet because if I have to put the bonnet back on, because what I'm doing isn't going to work, I don't want the bolts to be too short. So I do have a bucket. I'm at home, obviously, in my own shed. I don't have all the stuff we'd have. There's some dog fur floating around. I don't have all the stuff that I would normally have at work. Throw some bolts around. And predominantly, my workshop, I do carpentry stuff in. So we're going to have a look through my bucket of bits and see what we can find. Well, this is one of my buckets of bits. That there, oh, it might be on a winner with that one. Look at that. I better know what that came out of. I better know what that came out of too. That would have come out of a GQ Patrol, because that's what I used to have. That one's not going to work. The thread is too fine. Anyway, we'll have a bit of a dig. You'll also probably notice that I am videoing this on my phone because I don't have any of the cameras that we have at work either. So, in the shed. But yeah, I have got a few other buckets of bolts. But I mean, yeah, although we work on cars at work, I don't actually have anything at home to tinker with. But due to lockdown, I did actually bring the Falcon home just in case I needed something to tinker with. So it's here. You see, for me, here's the badge for my old Nissan Patrol. Sold it last year. Man, I miss that car. Anyway, one day I will get something else to tinker with. I do have an old motorbike in the corner behind all my kids' push bikes. It's actually a Z650B Kawasaki, I think 1976. It was my dad's. He gave it to me many years ago, and it's a project I'll get to one day. But for now, we'll keep going on this project for the Falcon. So it's looking like maybe these two might be a winner. But I'll have a bit more of them. Even that little shorty. To be honest, I'm only trying it, so when I come to it, I can actually get some proper bolts. I can, when next time I do some essential shopping, I can do some essential shopping at Bunnings. Well, okay. The only reason I would be at Bunnings is because I do run a building company, and from time to time, we still need to go and get materials. And you're saying, there's another one. Maybe we can cut that one down. So we've got plenty of bolts here. So we'll go back to the Falcon and we'll see what we can find that'll work. And what do you reckon? I'm thinking about, like, most of the guys at Bumpstop have their own project cars at home. So I'm thinking, maybe I should call some of the Bumpstop guys out, but when this lockdown's over, to maybe a bit of a challenge. I don't know. What do you think? Anyway, let's go for a walk. So these are our bolts in question. So I'm hoping, I mean, the heads are only small on these, but it might get us out of trouble. These gas struts don't help. I'll take this one again. Mighty tiny effectively. Let's try one of these shorter ones. To start, it's in. I reckon that's going to work. You can tell it's not a Falcon or a Commodore because it's not 13 mil. We're going to do the other side. All right, this will be the moment of truth, really. I'm going to lower it down and see where it hits. We can see up in there. You can see it doesn't want to go down. The hard part is always working out where. Now, I reckon you can sort of see in there, it's going to have something to do with that hose at the front. More than anywhere. So, we'll have a bit of a look. Alright, so you might be thinking, what the heck am I doing? But I've put this bit of masking tape here, and then I'm going to shut the bonnet and see if it sticks to anything. The bonnet actually latched, which was not what I was expecting, and it's sitting up on that corner. So, and it's sitting up on this corner. I was not expecting that. That's interesting. Anyway. Bingo. There we have it right there. It's a touching. I reckon that's our biggest point of contact there. I know we've had some rub points along here too. So if we have a look here, I think that's probably going to be a bit better now with the back of the bonnet down. So yeah, I reckon the biggest issue is that hose. So if we can do something about that hose, we might actually get this, with this section here, we might actually get this thing to shut. All right, looks like we're doing some more cutting. What could go wrong? Now I might be at home, but it's still safety first. Yes, you can see the washing on the line behind me. I'm sure I'll get in trouble off the wife for that, especially when I start cutting. Anyway, let's cut. Alright, the key's going to be baby steps. I don't want to cut out too much. So we'll shut it and we'll try it again. We'll just keep going, and then once it's all cut where we want it, we'll tidy it. Alright, here we go again. Shut the bonnet. It shut easier that time, but there's still something holding it up on that corner. Right, what I've noticed is, so this section here, it's actually touching on the front of the hose, and there's a ribbon there, so we might have to cut some of that out. But I reckon if we can get rid of that, then the bonnet might actually shut. Right, I think I'm just going to go with the Stanley knife, have a bit of a chop. Alright, if we look at this here, there's a fold of fiberglass here. I'm just going to get the Stanley knife and cut that out, and we'll check it again. Done some more chopping out here. I'll show you what I've done, and then we'll try the bonnet again one more time. Well, maybe 2 or 3. I don't know how many it takes. But yeah, we'll see how we go. Hopefully we can get the bonnet shut. So here it is. See, I've cut this rib out here. And yeah, I know it's untidy at the moment, but we will get a little die grinder on it and tidy it up once we know it'll shut. So we'll move the our protective blanket here, and we'll... All right, we're going to try some here. I'm going to try and put my phone under the bonnet when I shut it, see if I can video where it's hitting. Let's give it a go. Actually, looks like this dipstick might be our biggest issue here. Let's have a look at that. And I got my Sunday best on. This is my daughter. We want to do a peace sign. Well, we've done a lot of, well, I have done a lot of cutting and grinding underneath there and sanding to get a clearance of all the items underneath the bonnet. We're pretty close. We're pretty close. Now, the underside of the bonnet doesn't look, you know, as awesome as it would if it wasn't cut underneath there. But I think the flip side is, with the bonnet shutting properly, it's going to look a whole lot better. So it's a compromise. It's not a show car. So we're getting there. We're going to have some tidying up to do here. That's for sure. Making some space. All right, this is one of those escalating moments. We've now had to cut a hole in here. And as you know, cut all this out of here. But I think we're nearly there. I don't think there's anything hitting on that side. I think we're good. So I think it's just this side now. I think we're clear up here. I think we are clear up here. I'm going to take that out. We'll cut that out. Tidy that up. We're almost there. Almost got a shut bonnet. Well, it is getting dark. So that's about it for me tonight. But see, I had to cut some more out of here for the air intake. And then I had to cut some more out of here for this. Then I had to cut some out of here for here. I had to do an adjustment on the bonnet latch. I think we're nearly there. And I had to put spacers in the back there because it was just touching the top of the master cylinder. Like, my goodness. So sort of like you touch one thing, you can touch another thing. So anyway, I'll get back on the tour tomorrow. Well, good morning. It is morning. I stopped working on the Falcon last night because it just got too dark, and I don't actually have lights underneath my carport. So, but I'll show you what the bonnet looks like from the outside, and then in a little bit I'll show you what it looks like underneath. But let's have a look. So, as you can see, there is a reasonably even line across the back here. So this used to get it all work, sit up here, about 20 mil up. Well, maybe not 20 mil. It was at least 10 mil up to get it all to work. So now it's a pretty even gap. Now, there is a bigger gap there than I would like, but it's actually the mold of the bonnet. yeah, the mold of the bonnet is not great. So the shape, the curve's just slightly wrong. But anyway, it is what it is. Can't do much about that. But it certainly looks a lot better than it did. Needs a wash. And we've got to do some more stuff underneath the bonnet. There we go. There's a few holes and cuts in the underside of the bonnet. And I will tidy them up. Put some black paint on it. And they'll be what they'll be. The bonnet shuts. Yeah, it's not ideal. If it was a show car, I'd be worried, but it ain't. Definitely isn't a show car. But that's all we could do at this point in time with the bonnet. Yeah. Anyway, I'm happy that it closed. We're back again for another day of lockdown. Yesterday I did put some foam in the Falcon bonnet here just to fill in the gaps. I'm going to cut that back and I'm going to flex it up nice, and then I'm going to put some black paint on it. Anyway, let's get into it. So I'm just going to get my my Stanley knife and just trim it all up. Nice. I actually started trimming it yesterday. It said to wait half an hour. It was like 25 degrees. Well, I kind of got bored and I waited half an hour. I think it was 7 degrees. Yeah, it didn't work out so well. So there's a few spots I've got to fix up. What do? You live and you know. So as you can see, it's filling it in, tidying it up. But I do actually have some automotive grade Tickford. I'm going to put over the top of it just to tidy it up. But baby steps, we'll get there. Alright, they're all trimmed back. I'm going to get some something to sand it up, make it smoother, and then we'll get the Tickford out. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. I'm actually using this high strength structural adhesive Tickford sealant 252, and I'm actually putting it in here. So, but what I'm doing is I'm using, this is called a small tool. It's a plasterer's tool. Well, that's what I've always been told, it's been called a small tool. Funny name, but yeah. So I'm using this, and I'm actually using that to just put it in there carefully. Might take me a little while, but it means I should get a nice finish on it all, particularly once it's all painted up. So I'll keep going. All right, it's taken a little while, but so I've Tickford all the edges, and now that's got to dry, and we'll give it a sand up because I believe it is sandable stuff. And then we're going to paint it all. But at least that'll help keep some of the structural integrity of the bonnet around it. Just make it that little bit nicer once it's painted. Well, there we go. It's Friday. We've made it to the end of another week. And yeah, I've just been tinkering away on the AU Boss in the background, in between doing other stuff on the computer. And it's turned out not too bad. Yeah, we've got it all painted black now. It's good to go. So I'll show you quickly. Well, there it is, the underside of the bonnet. Yeah, the whole underside needs painting black, but I didn't have enough black paint, and it wasn't really essential for me to go down to the shop to get it, but it looks pretty good. So we'll get some black paint a little bit later, and we'll get some on it and make it all look schmick. Well, here it is. I've just given it a wash, well, a hose off and a chamois. Here it is. Yeah, it looks so much better. Well, that is it. We have finished modifying the bonnet on the Boss. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, all things considered, using only what I had in the shed on a basically $0 budget, which is kind of how we roll sometimes. So we have got some other things to do on the Boss, which is a good excuse for me to get away from my computer again, and that is I've got to put a new seatbelt in the driver's side. I have got one of those. So we might even chuck up a video on how to replace a seatbelt. So that'll be coming up. We've also got some other cool stuff that we're planning to do some videos of coming up, and there might even be a new character that occasionally enters into our videos. But yeah, look, take care out there, people. Look after yourselves, look after your mates. Give your mates a call, check in, see how they're going. Many people in many different situations. So let's look after each other, talk to each other, and we'll get through this. So we'll see you all next time on Bumpstop, Car Mods and Mentoring.